The Taxman is back with another draft. My name is Kyle. Get ready to draft with me. We're in the Dalmatian. It's about to close. I ended up getting the 4 pick. What I might do is, I've never done this before on the computer, is draft two teams at once. Just because we are trying to get into these tournaments before they close. So let's try it. We're going to draft two teams at one time. On my phone, I consistently draft like three teams at a time, especially a tournament like this where it's $1 entry and I'm trying to get in as many as possible. Wonder if I can do two screens here. Let's get into. So yeah, I'm on the 4 pick in this one. I'm going to try to pull the other one up on the other tab. So cool. I'm on the clock. This is the Little Dalmatian. I'm taking Puka at the 4 pick. I'm doing two drafts at the same time, trying to get as many $1 entries into the Little Dalmatian as I possibly can. I'm currently at about 40, I would say, for this tournament. The max is at 101. The only way to really have maxed that out is to have been doing like three at a time, because I've been doing quite a bit over the past day and a half, and I'm still only at 40. So let's look at the board on this tournament. We got the 4 slot. The other tournament, we have the 7 slot. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment what you think of my teams, and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow a little bit of a following so I can start doing this live before the season starts. I'm on the clock at pick 7. I'm going to take Christian McCaffrey. I want to get some more exposure to him. A lot of people are just assuming he's going to get injured, but if he has a similar year like he did last year, he's definitely going to be one of the best picks. He just gets so much volume. He catches so many passes. That offense is good. Let's see if anyone is also drafting two at the same time like me. I don't see anyone. So yeah, this is $20,000 to first place, and it's a $1 entry. So for me, if you keep up with fantasy football, if you watch the NFL, the risk reward on this is just so good in my opinion. It's something that I want to get as many entries in as possible. And this is honestly your last chance. It's 100% going to fill probably before 8 o'clock. I'm on the clock here. I got Puka. So I'm going to go ahead and take. I'm going to take Nico Collins and get some more exposure to him. I'm on the clock on the other team. Who do I want to pair with Christian McCaffrey? I'm going to take Chase Brown. Chase Brown, for me, has proven that he can put up a lot of points, especially in best ball. And I do take Hampton sometimes too, but he hasn't shown me what Chase has shown me. So I'm going to go ahead and take Chase Brown there. So it helps at the top of the tab. It shows like how many picks away I am. I'm on the clock on this team. And so far I got Puka and Nico. I'm going to take Devontae Smith here. It's another player that I haven't taken a lot of because I am not so sure how he's going to be handling the quote unquote alpha role that people think he's going to get. Even though Makai Lemon's there now, they did get rid of AJ Brown, but Makai Lemon's really good. So I wouldn't be surprised if he takes a lot of AJ Brown's targets. So I haven't taken too much of Devontae Smith at his cost, but he is the type of player that could just go off the right week and you need him in your lineups. So he's definitely a player you want some exposure to, I would say. So I got 2 running backs on one team and 3 wide receivers on the other. I'm on the clock. I'm going to pair Zay Flowers up here with Chase Brown because they play each other in week 17. The Bengals versus the Ravens. Going to get that correlation in to give myself a better chance to separate from the over 400 people if I make it to the finals in week 17. So yeah, Cincinnati has a good playoff schedule. They play at Carolina, at Indy, and against Baltimore. I am a Cincinnati Bengals fan. That's where I'm drafting from. I'm currently in Cincinnati. So I do like me some Bengals. Also, T. Higgins a few years ago helped me place in a top 10 in a tournament. So I see the potential for just needing them in week 17. Either T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Chase Brown. They funnel their targets to those 3 guys mainly. So it's good to have exposure to offenses like that. For example, the Dallas Cowboys as well. Most of the points are going to be scored by George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott. I'm going to pair Mike Evans up here with Christian McCaffrey and try to get me a Brock Purdy stack with it because I don't think I've done that yet. So I would like to do that with at least one team. I'm on the clock on this team. I have yet to take a running back, so I will take Mr. Cam Skattebo. I'm pretty high on Cam Skattebo this year. The New York Giants, they've shown they want to run the ball, so I will take Cam Skattebo as my first running back. Here's my team so far. One other guy at 1 went the same build as me pretty much. We have similar teams. Kind of like my team better, to be honest. Obviously, he's got Jahmyr Gibbs, but after that, okay, I'm back on the clock on this team. Could be looking to take another running back, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get super stacky here and take Davante Adams with Puka Nacua and look to pair them with Matthew Stafford. Obviously, doing 2 teams like this, if you're not experienced, it could get a little dangerous with the stacks. You really have to be conscious of what you're doing on both teams so you don't let your stacked quarterbacks slip through the cracks. We will see if I can keep up with it all, but I'm pretty confident I can. I'm going to take David Montgomery here. I got some, actually, no, I'm not. Yes, I am. So I take David Montgomery there. I'm fine with the pick. I don't take him too much. I was going to switch and take Bucky Irving to get like more ceiling with my Christian McCaffrey, but Christian McCaffrey, if he has a good year, he's got enough ceiling. So I'm fine with David Montgomery. And David Montgomery should be getting a lot of volume in that Houston offense. They have a good defense, so they should run the ball quite a bit. So 1 pick gets auto drafted for me. Sometimes though, I don't mind an auto draft because you never know what's going to happen in the season. Sometimes it's best just to let the computer make 1 pick out of your hundreds and hundreds of teams if you're doing that many, which I am. So I'm fine with it. So both teams are 1 pick away. I'm going to take a running back here on this team because I only have one in Jaylen Warren. And then on the other team, let's see. Could take a wide receiver. I'm going to take Joe Burrow and stack him up with my Chase Brown and Zay Flowers bet. Continuing with that week 17 correlation of the Baltimore versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm 4 picks away on this draft. So let's see who we're going to want to take. We could take Jalen Hurts if he falls here because we have Devonta Smith. If someone snipes him, I might take a running back because Tennessee plays Pittsburgh in week 17. So he gets sniped. I'm going to go with that original thought. I need a running back on this team. And like I said, Tennessee plays against Pittsburgh in week 17. Let's see if he stacked anybody with Hurts or just took a naked Hurts. No, he had Mekhi Lemon, so totally understandable him wanting Jalen Hurts with this team to get the stack. Let's check out this board. Drafting 2 teams at one time is honestly much more exciting because you're almost always on the clock. We have a little void in picks here, but definitely keeps you on your toes. I wouldn't suggest doing this at home unless you're doing $1 drafts and you have some experience doing these best ball tournaments. Draft at your own pace, at your own risk. I need a sign in the background. I'm coming up on the clock on this team. 2 picks away. I got a very balanced build. Let's see how far Matthew Stafford is down here. I can wait on him. I'm on the clock on the other team. People picked very quickly. Let's see here. I'm going to take Courtland Sutton. So I was going to take Blake Corum there. He gets sniped. I could take Xavier Worthy. I could take Ricky Pearsall and see if Brock Purdy falls back, but I'm planning on taking Matthew Stafford. I'll take Xavier Worthy here. He's a perfect best ball pick in my opinion because I'm expecting a bounce back year from Patrick Mahomes coming off the injury, and Xavier Worthy catches long touchdown passes. So he fits very well in my stacked wide receiver room, as you can see. So I could think about going 6 wide receivers on this team, which I don't do much, but I have a great wide receiver room. I'm 4 picks away on both teams. See if Brock Purdy has gone here. Brock Purdy's still on the board. I could just go ahead and take him to make sure I get the stack. which I might. Probably will, to be honest. Just because it's like I built this team with Christian McCaffrey and Mike Evans. So I really don't want to see somebody else take Brock Purdy, and quarterbacks are kind of flying off the board. He's the next QB based off of ADP, so I'm just going to take him. I'm on the clock on the other board, so I'm just going to take Matthew Stafford. Same thought process here. I have Puka and Devontae Adams, so I really want to pair them up with Matthew Stafford. And now on this team, I can look to take Tampa Bay guys because they play each other in Week 17. LA Rams play Dallas, Seattle, Tampa Bay. So I like my teams so far. Kind of went with a almost elite quarterback build with 2 early running backs and 3 pretty solid wide receivers, in my opinion. Mike Evans has a very high ceiling with the new team in San Francisco, as well as Zay Flowers does. There's been talks about how the Baltimore Ravens want to push the ball down the field more, so Zay Flowers is pretty clearly their wide receiver 1. And he's a guy that's just, knock on wood, hasn't really had injuries. He's been consistent year in and year out on making big plays. So if his volume just goes up a little bit and he gets some more targets, he could have a great season. Coming up on the clock, could look to go with tight ends because I don't have one yet. Like George Kittle. George Kittle would fit on my other team a little bit better because I have the San Francisco super stack, but we'll see. I could take another quarterback as well, like Baker, who's in that Week 17 game. I think I missed a pick on the other one. I'm going to take George Kittle here. Let's see who I got on the other one. So I got Jacoby Myers, which I'm 100% fine with. And this is me drafting 2 drafts on the first time on the computer, which I've never done before. And this is like kind of frozen a bit. So, okay, it goes back. So now I can see how far away my pick is. But typically when I'm doing this on my phone, I don't miss picks. But like I said, one auto draft, and when they auto draft, you basically get the best value at ADP, and it's Jacoby Myers in this case, and I'm 100% fine with it. That's why it's good too, and what I need to start doing is like start keeping at least positions that I want in my queue. So that's the worst thing, is when you get auto drafted and it messes up your structure. So that's what we do not want to happen. I'm on the clock. I'm going to take Baker Mayfield here. I kind of waited on a quarterback, and he's in the game that I was talking about, so it could be a shootout. I'm on the clock on the other draft board. I'm going to take Rachaad White here. He catches passes. I like him in that offense. He could have a good year. So this team does not have a tight end. Let's check the board. Right now I have a 2-4-4 build. 2-4-4 build, yes. 0 tight ends. I'm one of 2 teams without a tight end. Which typically, if I don't take an early tight end, I'm totally fine in waiting to get my tight ends, because there's really not much difference typically with like the guys taken here. There could be this year because like George Kittle's in the middle and he could just go back to his old self. But like typically there isn't a huge difference between the tight ends in like the middle rounds and the late rounds. And there's definitely risk with like George Kittle, Travis Kelce, Kyle Pitts. There's risk with all of them, in my opinion. Not a good offense, not a good quarterback situation, either one of them. Old, coming off an Achilles injury. There's guys at the end that I like. For example, I will be looking to take Terrence Ferguson with Matthew Stafford in this one. This one, the tabs keep not updating and letting me know when I'm on the clock, but I'm on the clock here. I'm going to go wide receiver and Jaden Higgins because I need one. Let's see, who do I want to take here? Washington. I'm actually going to reach on Spears here so I can lock up the Tennessee backfield, which I sometimes like doing with like cheaper backfields because now like if Tony Pollard has a good game in week 15, I advance, and then week 16, Spears has a good game, I advance again, now I'm in the finals. That's just like an example of what possibly could happen when you lock a backfield up. And we saw that last year. Like if you had TreVeyon Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson, TreVeyon Henderson had a good game in week 16, and then Ramondre Stevenson had a good game in week 17. So it definitely can work. I'm going to take Chig here. He's on a new offense, which is much better than his old offense, which was Tennessee. So he could have a good season. I still need a tight end here. I could take back-to-back Chig, which I think I will. Why not? Let's get Chig on both teams. And I have correlation here with Rachaad White. So both these teams, I most likely will be taking at least 3 tight ends. Just because, like if George Kittle was not coming off an injury, I would stick with 2, but he could start off the season slow. So I would like to have another tight end in this room. I could definitely stop at these 2 quarterbacks though. And same with these, I'll probably stop at 2 quarterbacks. And I'm more likely to stop at 2 quarterbacks in a structure like this where 3 teams advance out of your pod from weeks 1 to 14. So like 3 quarterbacks helps you advance, but it doesn't really help you much win the championship, in my opinion. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to win. So I really don't want to take another quarterback. Put those guys in the queue. Let's see who I want to put in the queue over here. Maybe some tight ends. So I got Bigsby, and I'm still not on the. I still haven't picked yet on this, but I probably will take a tight end over here. Tight ends are flying off the board, so it doesn't look like I'm going to get one. Could take Jawan. I like Denzel Boston. I like Stribling as well. So I might be done at 6 wide receivers here because I don't do that much, and I like this wide receiver room. So I can maybe take 4 tight ends or a bunch of running backs, which I might do. We'll see. 6 picks away on this one. Definitely we'll be looking at what tight ends are left. Juwan Johnson goes. Sadiq goes. There is a deep tight end that I think I might take on this team because he's on the same team as my quarterback. I'm going to take Spears here. I take Spears quite a bit. He's a guy that could help you advance out of your pod, in my opinion, because he goes so late and he most likely is going to have a pretty big passing down role in that offense. He has for like the past 3 years, and I can see Tennessee offense and Cam Ward taking a step forward this year. I'll put that tight end in the queue. So this guy is a rookie tight end. And like I said, I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan. So this guy went to Texas, drafted in the 7th round, like I said. And he logged 124 receptions, over 1,300 yards, and 7 TDs in college. And he plays behind Mike Gesicki, who I don't have a lot of confidence in, honestly. And I've watched his film, and I'm pretty impressed by how he does really well at like finding the soft spots in zone coverage, in my opinion. I'm taking Terrence Ferguson here. I need a tight end. Like I said, I wanted 3, and I have the Matthew Stafford now ultimate stack. So he will be my last pick, most likely. But I still do need another tight end to pair him with. Oh yeah, I want Stribling on this team as well for my ultimate San Francisco stack of Christian McCaffrey, Mike Evans, and hopefully Stribling. I'm 1 pick away. So hopefully this guy doesn't snipe me. He didn't. Cool. So I'm taking Stribling, adding to this San Francisco bet that I'm making. I'm taking Katron Allen here. Only going 6 wide receivers is going to allow me to take more swings at running back. And now I'm purely looking for like league winners in Tank Bigsby, Katron Allen. see. So I got 3 picks left. Definitely looking to take a tight end here. Could take Gunnar Helm. Could take Terrence Ferguson. All right. I really like this click, so I'm going to keep taking him. Terrence Ferguson's on both teams. Chig's on both teams. Totally cool with that. On the other team, I paired him up with George Kittle. And on this team, I'm looking to pair him up with Jack. And maybe, yeah, I might take 4 tight ends on this team, to be honest. Because I'm comfortable with my wide receiver room. I'm comfortable with my running back room for sure. And I only need 2 QBs. This one I'm going to stick with 3 and continue to hammer out upside bets at running back. And I think that's one of the most important things in best ball is like, if you take a bunch of early wide receivers like I did, you want to most likely, like, this team should not have like 8 wide receivers because my first 3 picks were wide receiver. Like at most, I would say 7, but you want to load up on the other position because you waited on it, like running back or quarterback or tight end. So that's just my 2 cents on that, like roster construction. Like, for example, this guy, he took 2 early running backs and he's only got 4. Like, I'm totally cool with that. Even though I don't love the 4 that he took. But, like, if he was to have gone 4 in a row, like, it's more likely you should stop at 4. You know? That's, like, the most simple version that I can give you. I could take Mike Gesicki and Jack, which isn't a terrible idea. Just because I have Joe Burrow as well. And like that way, if Mike Gesicki, let's say he plays first half of the year and then Jack takes his job, then I'm getting points from Mike at the beginning and I also have Jack at the end. All right, I'm going to take Jordan James here. It's another upside bet for this team. I've never really, I mean, I'm sure I have, but I can't remember the last time I went 2, 8, 6, 3. But I might go ahead and do it here. Oh, no, this is completed. My bad. So I went 2, 7, 6, 3. So that's it for this one. I was going to say, I don't think I ever went 2, 8, 6, 3, but that's because you can't. Sometimes you lose track when you're doing so many, like more than one draft, especially on the computer. It's a little bit more difficult. But I wanted to try this out just because most guys on YouTube are just doing one draft at a time. And I'm new to this, so I'm trying to, like, I don't know, mix it up a little bit so I can get some people watching the videos so I can start going live. So if you appreciate me risking my $2 to draft multiple teams at one time, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing this more often, maybe not 2 drafts at one time, but definitely drafting on YouTube. Most likely higher stakes next time because this one was only $1. But yeah, I am going to take Jack as my last pick. A very deep, deep, deep sleeper for you on the Cincinnati Bengals. High passing offense, 7th round rookie, and a veteran in front of him who honestly is just not that good in my opinion. So if he could carve out any role in that offense, he could score a touchdown, maybe 2 at the end of the year, help you win your league, help you win the $20,000. Who knows? That's all. Until next time, the Taxman's out. See you guys.